When it comes to external hard drives, there are two different types of hard drives you will commonly hear about. There are SSD drives, which are solid state drives, and there are HDD drives, which are hard disk drives. What is the difference between these two? Well, SSD drives are known for being faster, more expensive, and usually more portable and friendly to use with than their HDD counterparts. HDD drives are digital and they're slower, and they've got a lot more going on inside of them in terms of like physical parts, which goes down a rabbit hole that I don't even fully understand. When you're watching YouTube or you're trying to learn more about film production or any sort of production really, what you'll often find is that a lot of people recommend using an SSD drive to edit off of, to do everything in Premiere or Final Cut or what have you, you know, to basically store your files on an SSD drive through the editing process and then maybe move them to an HDD drive for storage, because these you can usually get a lot more storage out of them for a much lower price. So it's a good place to just keep old files that are already uploaded or published or what have you. That's the way that I've been doing this for quite a while now. I've been using the SanDisk Rugged Extreme SSD drive to store my files on while I am working on them, whether it be for a client or for myself. If I have a video that's in progress, it goes on the SSD drive. This is also where I keep my creative assets. If I have stock footage or if I have drone footage or B-roll that I use for everything, I've been keeping it on this 1 terabyte SSD drive. Then I would move everything over to a 4 terabyte hard disk drive. This is a 1 terabyte hard disk drive that I've had from the past, and I have the same version of this in a 4 terabyte version plugged into my computer right now. Now, what I noticed when I started using the SSD drive personally is that it really overheats my computer, and it takes a lot of energy, and my fans just start going crazy. I have a 2019 MacBook Pro, which I understand in Mac years is a little bit outdated, but it's a 2019 MacBook Pro, and literally just plugging this little SanDisk SSD drive into the computer will send it into a frenzy. So recently I've switched back over to using an HDD drive from Seagate to store my files on and edit them off of, and then I still move them over to the 4 terabyte drive after I'm done. And I've noticed that seems to work just as efficiently in terms of speed on the computer. Nothing seems to transfer significantly more slowly than it did while I was using the SSD drive. The only difference is that my computer's a lot quieter, and it makes it easier to work with audio and stuff like that when the computer's a lot quieter, because this does not seem to be eating up as much of the energy. Now, I do understand the basics of how these drives work. I do understand computers to a certain extent, probably more than the average person, but I'm still also not completely an expert in that area. I'm mostly making this video because I want to forewarn people that are considering buying an SSD drive that you might not need it. If you're the type of person that is editing 1080p footage from 24 to 60 frames a second, nothing that's crazy, nothing that's 4K, 8K, 4K, 6K, 8K, whatever the case may be, I don't know if there's much of a reason for you to use an SSD drive, and frankly, if you are using 4K, 6K, 8K footage, I still don't know if there's much of a reason. I don't do a lot of that because my computer just can't handle 4K to begin with. And I wanted to hear from some of you, if you are using this system, if there's something I'm missing. Is there something wrong with my SSD drive, or has anybody else ever had a similar problem where they got an SSD drive, noticed that it did not seem to make much of a difference in their editing workflow as far as it goes? Is this something that everyone on YouTube just tells you to do, and then they put an affiliate link in their description for you to go buy an SSD drive? I don't know what the situation is, because another thing is that when I say an SSD drive is more expensive than an HDD drive, it is not abysmal. It is a significant difference. I want to say this hard drive right here cost me somewhere from $150 to $180 for 1 terabyte of storage, and this one cost me literally half that. This one cost me about $60 for 1 terabyte of storage. So if you're considering buying an SSD, my suggestion to you, if you're not doing Hollywood grade films, or if you're not trying to be that type of a filmmaker with the 4K and the higher end footage, consider getting an HDD drive. It's going to get you either a lot more storage for the same price, or it's going to get you the same amount of storage for a much lower price. If you have any thoughts on it, please comment them down below, and if you like stuff like this, subscribe to the channel. Alright, I'm done. That's all I have.